Hey, every year brings new possibilities, new hope, new choices, new decisions. We take time, and I hope that you took time to really say goodbye to 2023 and embrace what God has for you in 2024. Today's episode, I'm sharing three things that I am leaving behind in 2023, and I encourage you to look and decide if any of these are things that you want to leave behind as well. Let's go. Hey, and welcome to the Full Weight of Joy podcast, the podcast for women who are done stressing about the weight of the world, of expectations and settling for status quo, and ready to step into the full weight of joy. Joy in the journey, whether up or down, joy through the life's challenges, and joy in loving your life right where you are, even though sometimes we feel like chucking it all and moving to Bali. It's for women who are ready to step into who God called them to be. He chose you to be in this world. He created you for a specific purpose. God called us to be the light on a hill, and by embracing who you are and whose you are, you can stand on that hill and shine. The best part, when you're standing next to another woman who's also on the journey, the world gets brighter. My name is Tammy. I'm your host and a master certified life coach and a trained therapist. For over a decade, I've been helping women do just that. Step into who they're called to be and shine. Are you ready, friend, to start your journey? Let's do this. Hey, and welcome back to the podcast. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. I am so excited that this episode drops the morning of 2024, January 1st. When you listen to this, who knows? Hopefully it'll be on a day that you really are excited about this new year. I wanted to share this with you because these are some of the things, these three steps, these three things that I want to leave back in 2023 and not take with me into 2024 and beyond. These three things that I have found that for myself and my clients and so many of my friends are holding us back, limiting us, and keeping us from having the life we really want. One of the things that these do is they stop us from having control over our own lives, like being at the mercy of, our knee-jerk decisions, people pleasing, doing things that we don't really want to do, or just putting guilt on ourselves that we don't need. And so these are three things that I am committed to leaving behind in 2023, and I want to encourage you to leave them behind with me. I have an action step and a journal question for you at the end to help you do that. But for right now, let's dive in and let's talk about three things that no longer belong in our new year, that no longer belong in our lives for 2024. So the first one is I'm leaving behind the yeah buts. We all have them. Oh, would you like to go to would you like to go to XYZ? Oh, yeah, but I can't. Yeah, but I'm busy. Yeah, but I'm tired. Yeah, but I don't have the resources. Yeah, I don't have the money. Yeah, but. We have allowed our decisions and our life to be controlled and directed by the yeah buts. This limits our thinking. It holds us back from growth. It holds us back from getting what we actually want, because many times those yeah buts are in our own favor. Like, we have excuses because we don't want to do something. But a lot of times it's our limiting belief that makes it so we can't even, like, immediately when there's something we want. Do you want to ask for a promotion? Yeah, but I don't have the skills. Are you sure about that? So, and are you ready for that? But our knee-jerk reaction is the yeah buts. So those no longer belong in 2024. They also create a self-defeating mindset. They make it so we are limited in what we want and what we do, or what's possible for us and what we want. It doesn't limit what we want. Our wants are still there, but it limits what we're capable of doing and getting. And then it also takes the responsibility away from us. There's many times that we would love to have an excuse, throw the responsibility on somebody else, blame somebody, something else because of something we don't want to do. The problem with that is it also takes away our power of choice. It also takes away that ability to make our priorities, set our boundaries, and own them for the reason that they're yours, not for any other reason, but because you have decided that those are important to you, that your core values, your priorities, your boundaries are how you're going to filter your decisions, not by limiting beliefs or the excuses that we give to keep us safe. So what can we switch it with? We can switch it with I can, I will, I choose. Do you want to ask for a promotion? I'm choosing to wait until I finish this project to really highlight my actions or my capabilities. It's way stronger than, oh, yeah, but it's not the right time. I choose to make this decision. I choose to make it happen. It hasn't happened yet, and I'm going to figure out a way. By having that positive, I choose, I will, I get to do something. Do you want to go out to dinner? Oh, I get to go to dinner with my family that night. I am so sorry. Boom. You have the empower. It's your choice. You've become the deciding factor. You've become the one who makes the choice in that moment. You're not giving your power, your choices, your decisions, the direction of your life to excuses or to someone else. The next thing that needs to go is the whole idea of just think differently. I need to just think differently about this. This implies that it's easy to make a change. Okay, that is simple. Something as simple as, I can't do this. Well, I just need to think differently. That I can do it. How many times has that worked for you? Are you where you want to be simply because you forced yourself to think different? Because you put on the rose-colored glasses, and I do know, I do wear rose-gold colored glasses sometimes, the aging process. But the lenses are not rose-colored. I am not beyond any sort of disillusionment that all you have to do is think differently to make changes in your life. There's a lot you can change with the right mindset. Just thinking differently is actually really, it's hurtful. It assumes that it's that simple of a process, and that when you can't just think differently and change, then it assumes that you're doing something wrong, or that everyone else was able to just think different and make have the transformation, have the life that they want. It oversimplifies the whole process, and it oversimplifies how God created us and the way the brain works. If it was that simple that to just think differently, don't you think you would have already? So let's get rid of that and really start looking at how can it's not even how, it's what do I want the change to look like? What do I want this new thought to be like? And this goes into the first one, the yeah buts too, is we leave these things behind because we get to take the power back. We get to make the decisions for ourselves. We get to decide what we want our life to look like. And then we get to take action steps towards it. So instead of telling yourself to think different, then identify specific behaviors. What specifically do you want to change? One of the things that I want to change is I want to get back into the gym habit. I was doing Pilates 3 to 5 times a week for over a year and a half. My life got a little bit crazier. It also got more challenging to book a class because there's only 12 performers. So 12 is the max for the class. And so I had to make those decisions. It didn't work for me anymore. So just thinking differently, I can still do it. No, the fact is it was not working for me in this season. So I canceled my membership and I joined a gym that has, that's practically 24 hours. With that, what I gave up, well, I gave up the individual classes of Pilates, but I gave myself that flexibility of choice and so with that, instead of just thinking differently about, oh, I just need to think differently about my gym activity, it's like, okay, 4 days a week, what can I put on my calendar? I took that specific behavior and habit that I wanted and I defined it. What does it look like to me? What do I want it to be? And when you think, I just need to think differently, this doesn't just go with habits. It can even be with the circumstances of your life. When you just say, I just need this hard thing that I'm going through, this struggle that I'm going through with my teen or my spouse or my girlfriends, like I'm just going to think differently about it. It becomes a form of avoidance. Like you stop taking action. You allow the yeah buts to creep in there too. And it like, yeah, but I just can't think differently about it right now. Or yeah, but I can think about it. I can change the way I think about it. And then it doesn't work. So switching it with actionable steps. I will practice mindfulness. I will go to the gym 30 minutes, 4 times a week. Okay, that's a lot different than I just need to think differently about my health. Action. Put some intentions behind it. I want to feel healthy, and therefore I'm going to the gym 4 times a week. And why? It's because I want, when I am, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I want to be mobile. I want to be active. I want to be able to get on the floor with my grandkids. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to go on daily walks. I want to be able to do some hiking. That's my why. I just think differently about my health. It's not actually going to help me make the changes that I want. It allows the yeah buts and those excuses to creep in and keep me from getting the life that I'm really desiring. So leave behind. I just need to think differently. I get to make one action step. I get to take one step toward how I want things to be different. That's what we can replace it with. And then decide what your action step is. The next thing is one that as women, as moms, as women leaders, we fall into this trap. And we think that we're supposed to. We have servants' hearts. We are wired to nurture. However, there's some who nurture different than others. Like, I'm not going to define how we nurture, but it doesn't matter. We still have this responsibility and this need to care for those people and things around us. We have that nurturing soul. One of the things that we need to leave behind is we need to leave behind the fact that we need to serve out of obligation, out of lack, and out of guilt. Just because we can doesn't mean we should. We need to serve. We are called to serve. We are also told that God's burden is light. We're also called to serve in a way that brings us joy, brings us energy, and it can still be challenging. Like, I'm not going to say it doesn't exhaust you. I'm not going to say that it's not a sacrifice. And what I'm going to tell you is that you don't have to serve out of obligation. You don't have to serve because if I don't do it, no one will. And you don't have to serve out of guilt. One of the main things that I start to do with my clients, and I want to encourage you to start looking at this as well, is look at what your strengths are. What lights you up in the way of service? If being the team mom and planning the end of year sports party, having the snacks for them at the after end of each game, if that lights you up and that brings energy, or that's something you can do effortlessly because it's part of your strengths, by all means, do it, serve, do that, because people like me need you to do that. That's not how I'm called to serve. So how are you called to serve? Because it's not serving out of lack. It's not serving out of obligation. It's not serving out of guilt. It's serving in a way that comes from love, that comes from honoring those around us, honoring God and the gifts that He's given us. And so we should be doing it from a place of abundance, from a place of, and when we serve out of guilt, lack, and obligation, we burn out, or we start to feel resentment for what we do. We start to have more yeah buts for why we can't do something, or why it wasn't to the standard that we have, or it just goes back to those excuses that we bring in, or the telling us we just have to think differently about serving. That when we look at purposeful and joyful serving, when we look at serving from our strengths, from our excess and our abundance, and from our joy, then serving takes on a whole new meaning for us. There are times we have to put on our big girl panties and we have to push through. That should not be our norm. That should not be the standard. That should be the times that we all come together and we say, okay, none of us are called to this, but we have to get it done. How can we work together to make it happen? No one person should be responsible for major service projects. There might be a head, but even if you're called to lead, it doesn't mean you have to do it all on your own. With this, we get to ask for help. We get to make a conscious choice to serve because we genuinely want to. And we get to align with our passions and our strengths. We get to align with our gifts, which means that you have to identify what your gifts, your strengths, your talents are. That's actually a crucial key. Otherwise, you're going to keep serving and serving and serving and feeling like that lack or drain because you haven't figured out what it is that truly helps you serve best. So by making these shifts, by removing these three things of serving out of lack, the I just need to think differently, and the yeah buts, we're actually creating a life of empowerment, of choice, of decision, we are enhancing and elevating our lives in 2024. We are still called to love and to serve and to grow and to get out of our comfort zone. I am not using these three things to stay in my comfort zone. No growth happens in the comfort zone. No, you are refined through the fire. So I'm not telling you that this is going to give you the permission to not do anything for 2024. What I'm giving you permission to do is choose what you want your life to look like, what you want your service to look like, what you want your decisions to look like. By embracing limiting these three things, eliminating these three things, by embracing the three things we add, the proactive language, the I will, I can, I choose, by switching from the I just need to think differently to actually taking an actionable step, and from leaving behind that serving out of guilt and obligation and choosing purposeful and joyful service, we're actually embracing and becoming more fulfilled in our everyday life. We're able to make a bigger impact by our choices, by our actions, by our thoughts even. Because now we have removed the actions, the thoughts, their choices that are decided by our old habits, our old patterns, our blind spots, our exhaustion or our obligation, and we're being more intentional about what we say and do. And that's That's what we get to step into for 2024. We get to be intentional. We get to choose and create a life of joy, of purpose, of fulfillment. We get to step into our power as women leaders. And we get to do it in a way that feels aligned and feels obedient and feels energizing. And there's a way to do all of this easier. The first is I want to encourage you to join the free Facebook group, Divine Destiny. Sorry, the name just, I don't know. I need to write it down because for whatever reason, every time I try to come up with the top of my head and I have my notes, because I assume that I already know I draw a blank. Divine Destiny, embracing our impact as women leaders. Join that group. Let's start to make 2024 a powerful, a impactful, and a joyful and fulfilling year. Also, I have a webinar coming up. I am shifting things a little bit. I'm going to start doing them like every 2 weeks. There'll be a webinar. So if you can't come to this one, you'll be able to come to a next one. But the webinar title is 5 Not So Secret Secrets for Women Leaders. 6, excuse me. I added another one. 6 Not So Secret Secrets for Women Leaders. I want to show up in a way, I want to serve you in a way that's really going to get you the transformation that you desire, the life that you want, the fulfillment, because I know what it feels like to be doing all the things and know that it's not right, to know that it's not what your calling is, or knowing that you are where you need to be, but you're not having the impact that you desire. Whether it's in your home, in your workplace, in your friend group, in your community, wherever it is, we are called to make an impact for the Lord, for the kingdom of heaven, right where we are. And that's what in 2024, I want to help you do. So join the free Facebook group. I also am doing a new introductory call. That this is for if you don't really want to dive completely into coaching yet, but you want to see what is possible for you. This is an introductory strategic assessment. So we're going to talk about, and it sounds official, right? It sounds, it's not as cold as it sounds, but I was trying to think of what I could call it. And I'm going to put the link for that in below. What this is that I'm going to send you a link for a personality assessment, for the Enneagram assessment, for the one that I really like. It's very detailed, and it's, I think you get like a 30-page report from this. But we're also going to meet together, and we're going to look at what your strengths, your weaknesses, what shifts do you want to make? And I'm going to help you with that strategic assessment. Like, we're just going to walk through it together. And so that's just a one-time, no obligation. But I know that once you get a taste of what's possible, you're going to want more. You're going to want to see, okay, now that I know what is possible, how do I get there? And that's what we do through Shine. That's what we do through Shine On, my group coaching. And that's what I do with my one-on-one clients who want transformation right now. And I can't wait to see what becomes possible for you in 2024. So get in the group, DM me if you want some, let's just chat about what can become possible. I'm so excited about what's possible, what the changes that I'm making in my life and my business and my family, and what 2024 is going to bring. And it's not because I'm going to make these massive changes in my life. It's not because I'm just going to choose to think differently. It's because I'm actually making intentional choices to be consistent, to bring in those decisions that I want and throw out and not allow my excuses to make decisions for me anymore. And you can do that too. I can show you how. Well, with that, friend, come and hang out on Facebook with me. I'm going to start hanging out there more often. In 2023, I kind of got out of the Facebook habit. Like I stepped away. I was not even scrolling in it very often. And I kind of miss my peeps. I miss hanging out and seeing what's going on with my people. And so I'm bringing that back in a very strategic way, because I also don't want it to be a time suck. I won't go into that, but you know what I'm talking about, right? You know, the mindless scrolling. I don't want that anymore. But I'm going to hang out there, and I need people to hang out with me. So come and hang out in the Facebook group, Divine Destiny, Embracing Your Impact as a Women Leader. And choose joy until joy chooses you. I will see you soon. Happy New Year, and I cannot wait to see what 2024 brings for you. Bye.